I got fired after every Christmas party because I would be naked dancing on the table. Why does our brain not think that this is not the thing we're supposed to be doing? Because addicts think differently.
Totally differently.
It's wild to me that this is how I was living my 20s. I think, oh, if I move to a different state, everything's going to be better.
Right.
But it's still me, because I have to fix me. But I never fixed me. I just kept bringing all my freaking problems with me. As a drug addict, all I did was lie.
Yeah.
Today I have real relationships. Today I get to be an honest woman in sobriety.
Welcome to Alive and Sober with Reno C, where real life, recovery, and faith collide.
Welcome to Alive and Sober with Reno C, where we are basically broken people trying to help other broken people. None of us know everything. We're just trying to drop seeds for people in recovery and build a community where, we can talk about what's going on in our lives. Today, my guest is Jessica. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
I know about you. We have a friend, Caroline, who introduced us talking, but we haven't really talked. No. And I like it like that on here, just so it's more natural and organic, and just like it is at our recovery meetings and hanging out. So it's very nice to meet you, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here. And let's just get started with a little bit about you, where you're from.
Okay. So I'm originally from New York. I'll just tell you a little. I'm from New York. And then I moved to Hawaii, and then I moved a little bit to Florida, and then I moved back to Hawaii, and then I moved to Tennessee. And along that way, I I got sober somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
That's a journey. I'm currently sober I'll have 15 years this year
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, in August. So my sobriety date is 8/21/2011.
That's killer.
It is killer. But honestly, it's not about the days. I think the person who's sober the longest is the one who got up earliest this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to hate those people in the meetings who are like, I have 4,000 days and 12, hours and 13 minutes. I used to want to, slam their heads in the wall when I was in a meeting. I didn't like those people very much.
Right.
Spraying their sunshine all over the meetings. I found them to be very annoying.
Yeah. Starting out.
Yeah. I'd be like, ew, I don't want to come back to this meeting with those people.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is you hear people talk about how the fact that it's one day at a time. Like that's what always stuck in my head. Like, you guys, it doesn't matter. You can have 20 years and slip up.
Oh my gosh, I completely agree. I know several people, 20 years, stopped going to meetings, right? And blew their brains out, never came back because they became disconnected.
Yeah.
That is so scary to me. I take my sobriety very serious. And I think that's super scary that you can have 20 years, be completely disconnected, and blow your brains out. I know many people that have done that.
We had a guy in our group who had been sober like 25 years. He got sober, he said, for his job.
Yeah.
And when he retired, he was like, I'm retired now. I don't have to answer to anybody, and was dead in 6 months. Drank himself to death.
Yeah.
And it's the addiction picks back up wherever you were, and your body's not used to it. Like, I could drink a bottle of Jack when I was in the throes of it and get up the next day and go do whatever I had to do.
Right.
But if you stop for 20 years and within a couple days you're drinking a bottle of Jack, you're going to die.
Right.
Like, you can't, I don't know if it's tolerance or whatever it is, but that's shocking. I relapsed a couple times early on, and I went right back to where I was. And I only had like 90 days, but it was enough where that first morning after the first night of drinking, I was sick.
Yeah.
Because it was boom, 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 and my body was clean.
Yeah.
And your liver and you just start rejecting. It's poison.
It is poison, and our disease remembers. It's doing push-ups. That's what they say. It's doing push-ups. It's ready for us, and it's awful.
Meetings are like the gym.
It is like the gym.
You go in, you have to get in there. And so tell me a little bit about, did you start drinking when you were a teenager? Were you?
Okay, so my first experience with drugs and alcohol, I was 14. I had my first blackout at the age of 14, my first time. I smoked pot. I had a couple of beers at our local bar. I don't even know how I got in. I had some older friends and I went in with my older friends and I crawled across my kitchen floor. I don't remember it. This is what my parents told me I did. And they're like, look at our daughter. Look at this. I got in so much trouble and I passed out in my room. And that was the beginning of my using and drinking career. And it started at 14 years old.
Yeah. Mine too, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it was just awful. Then that began my career. That was it. I drank and I used drugs all throughout my high school. I went to 3 different high schools because I was always in trouble. Always in trouble.
I went to military school.
Did you?
Because I was a wonderful kid.
I know, right? 3 different high schools because I ruined all of my friendships. Because that's the first part of our drugs, right? We're in trouble with all the people we know. I couldn't keep a friendship. You think a light bulb would go off with me the first time I passed out, the first time I put a substance in my body, and it didn't. I'm like, because my brain lit up differently the first time I put the drugs in my body. And that's so sad. Moving on to college, oh gosh, college was a whirlwind. I don't even know how I graduated with my nursing degree at 20
Wow.
years old. Yeah, I went to a 2-year school. I got an associate's degree in nursing and so proud, right? Well, get this. Get this. Before I go into that, I should probably backtrack. My dad had bipolar disorder. So my high school years were rough. My dad was bipolar. He spent most of my high school years in and out of mental institutions. So perhaps that's why I used drugs. I don't know. But my life was very, very complicated at home during that time. And maybe drugs and alcohol were an escape, perhaps. You know,
Sure.
I mean, I think a lot of kids start using for different reasons, and perhaps that was mine. I'm not sure.
Let's be honest, it feels good.
It's
And
an
you
escape.
Yeah, you
And I
escape.
think that's why we do it, you know? I was in trouble with boys. I was in trouble with girls. I was in trouble at home. And maybe that's why we do it. But then I went to nursing school. I graduated, in 2 years with my associate's degree. And then my first nursing job, oh gosh, I got it in a pinstripe blue suit. I looked like Hillary Clinton. My hair was in a bun. And I went to it with 2 black eyes and a broken nose. And I'm there in a professional interview. I got my briefcase with only my resume in it. And I had to explain why I had 2 black eyes and a broken nose. And I was like, well, it was a racquetball accident, because pickleball wasn't what we did then, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got this awesome job. And I just said, oh, yeah, I was playing racquetball. There was that. I got the job. But
Yeah.
then that began a whole another career of using drugs from the ER. Isn't that terrible?
No, I hear about it all the time.
Do you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Doctors, I tell people this all the time, like out in the world of whatever this
Yeah.
mess is we're living in, there's classes and there's races and there's genders and there's none of that's
No.
in abuse.
No.
None of it. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, what
Yeah.
you think you are. It can get you,
Yes.
right? I mean, there's doctors and stuff in our meetings that
Yeah.
I go to, and there's
Yeah.
pharmacists, and there's
Yes. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what class you are. It does not discriminate, this disease.
Yeah.
It's cunning, baffling, and powerful.
right.
And those are the words that I have taken with me through all the years of recovery. And anyway, that's my first job that I did. And it was, I had this nurse friend of mine and she said, hey, have you ever stolen anything from a hospital? And I said, well, no, I never thought to do that. And well, I met these paramedics, and you'd think like your brain, like red flag, why would we not do that?
Right.
Well, it's a great idea, I thought. Oh, yeah, let's do this. So
Yeah.
I met some paramedics, and after a good night of partying, the paramedics would meet us at the clubs and stuff, stick IVs in us, and we just start taking the antiemetics, the Zofar, the medics, the medicines that help you not get sick. And we're off to the races. We're good to go. We're pumped up with fluids and party off our asses off.
Yeah.
Here we go. I mean, why does our brain not think that this is not the thing we're supposed to be doing? Because addicts think differently.
Yeah.
We really do.
Totally differently.
I mean, it's wild to me that this is how I was living my 20s.
I've told this on this before. I'm just going to
okay.
tell it so I can tell
Yeah.
you. But the first time, I don't even think I was 14. I was 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
But some kid's parents went out of town. And I went over there, and I'm sorry if you've heard this ad nauseum, but just so we can connect on the...
Yeah.
I went over to their house. There were a whole bunch of kids over there.
Yeah.
Got into the parents' bar, got drunk, peed my pants, threw up all over the place, blacked out, woke
Right.
up on the floor of one of my buddies' bathrooms.
Yeah.
His parents were home. Pounding headache, and I couldn't wait to do it again. Like, I was sick as a dog, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do that again today.
Yeah.
There's something off with our minds
Right.
and our brains where nothing else matters after that.
Right.
Nothing, I mean, I'm going to do this,
I got to get that feeling.
and whatever it does to everybody around us,
Yeah. Right.
you know?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off,
no,
but I
it's
just
not
was
that.
trying
I
to
mean,
connect us because it's the same
it's the same
weird
thing.
brain trick.
Right. When I had that broken nose, it was because I had passed out in the bathroom. But I had to tell people it was a racquetball accident, you know,
Yeah.
because I couldn't say, well, I passed out in the bathroom because I was drunk as a skunk partying. You know what I mean? Because
Especially in a job interview.
yeah, and like I had a racquetball accident.
What
but
happened
no.
to you? What happened to you? I was freaking hammered.
Yeah, I
last
was
night.
hammered.
Have you ever gotten where you bust your head open?
Right,
Yeah.
because you know, and I had other drugs in my system, so I'm taking all those things to get the. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say all the things I was on because that's bad. But I'm taking all the teas to get it out of my system. I'm running at the gym,
Yeah.
trying to get
Golden seals.
Yeah, all the things to get it out of
Yeah.
your system. All the things that we do to get all the drugs out of our system. And I had to say, yeah, I had a racquetball accident. Playing at the gym. What a nut! Because as a drug addict, all I did was lie. I lied about what I ate. I lied about who I was hanging out with. I would lie. If you asked me what time of day it was, I would lie by 5 minutes because I was a compulsive liar in my active addiction.
Yeah.
I was just lie all the time.
Even when you don't feel like you're lying.
It's a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's
always covering up something all the time. Did you do that?
I did. The weird thing that I had was I had a job.
Mm-hmm.
My job celebrates it. Right? So I didn't have to lie about what I was doing. I could do it in front of people.
Nice.
And it was almost it was a gift. It was like, but I mean, I could go to a show.
Yeah.
And I would walk into like Zany's
Okay.
in Nashville, and there'd be a shot of Jack and a Coors Light on the bar for me before I even got there, because they knew that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to lie to hide it and stuff like that. What I did was I manipulated.
Okay.
So, at my job, I could do whatever I wanted,
Right.
but I had to come back home.
Yeah.
Or I had to go to do a TV show. I had to do stuff. So it was always, but even with TV shows, you can still do what you want. They don't care.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to get into like if I was a mechanic or a doctor, I would have to lie when I went into work.
Right.
I could walk into work and go, I am freaking so hungover. And they're like, you just need a couple shots. Hair of the dog.
okay.
Quit being a sissy. Shut up and get up there and dance,
Right.
monkey. Make them laugh.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But it was more, with me, it was more manipulating situations, where it would fit to where I could drink,
Right. Yeah.
Anything went around that,
Right.
where it was, or when I was going to get a drink, or when, and you at the time, if I look back at it, I was thinking I was doing everything right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we rationalize our behavior.
I'm providing for my family. I'm making money. I'm doing
Yeah.
this, and my bills are paid. I'm not living under a bridge. I don't have any DUIs.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
just let me be me.
Right.
Right. And I got all hung up, and my thing was ego. Like, I had an enormous ego, and looking back at it for no reason at all. But, it was one of those things where internally, I was a wreck. I was a little crying toddler, right?
With low self-esteem on the
Horrible
inside.
self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Depressed, all that. But what I portrayed, or what I thought I was portraying,
Right.
was this tough guy, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I don't do it, and you're not going to tell me, and I drink 15 beers, and whatever. But inside I was so sad. Mm-hmm. But it was just like a hamster
wheel.
Hamster wheel, just run. They tell you like a duck on a pond. Like you see them up here, and they look like they're all together, but underneath they're pedaling like crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
not
go
at
off on
all.
ducks, but you know what I'm talking about.
I get it. I was that way, and I felt those. I think the thing about addicts is that we can all have the similar feelings and experiences because we all share the same things when we go to meetings.
Yeah.
You know, our stories can maybe not be so similar, but we all have a shared experience when we're in the meetings. For me, my resume will look like this, and I can share those same feelings because I would frequently be fired after the Christmas party. I would make an ass out of myself.
Office Christmas parties.
Don't ever go to them if you're an addict or an alcoholic. I got fired after every Christmas party because I would be naked dancing on the table, and I don't recommend it. I don't recommend that. It's bad luck.
Yeah.
And so my resume started looking January to December, and then it would be February to December, and then March to December. It started getting less and less, and it was harder and harder to get a job. And then that's why eventually I moved to a different state.
Yeah.
My geographic relocation, many people hear that in the rooms, you know, geographic relocation.
Yeah.
What happens is you still get off the plane. I think, if I move to a different state, everything's going to be better.
Right.
But it's still me. Because I have to fix me. But I never fixed me. I just kept bringing all my freaking problems with me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I just get off the plane again. I just make a bigger mess in a different state. And it all just follows along. And then all those problems, I just make a bigger mess. And it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
And eventually, I have to figure out how to fix it there, and I don't. And I just bring all these problems again, and all the big mess, and the hamster wheel starts again, and it just kept happening.
Off to the races.
Yeah, again and again.
How was your bottom? Did you have a bottom where you?
Oh gosh, I had many bottoms, many lows.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, when am I going to stop digging?
Yeah.
You know, how many lawyers do I have to hire? How many jobs do I have to lose? How many bankruptcies? How many houses do I have to lose? I had a husband once. I lost that too, but it was a terrible marriage. I mean, he was a drunk and I was a drug addict, and it didn't work out. I mean, and he was so inconsiderate. I mean, he drank, and then I had to wait to get home to do my drugs. Could you imagine how inconsiderate of him? He was in a band, and it was just awful.
Yeah.
Because as a drug addict, I am the center of the universe.
Yeah.
And all these people are getting in my way of getting high.
You know what? That is brilliant. That's
You know what I mean?
That's what I was I didn't say it right. I said ego, but that's what it was. I was the center of the universe.
I am the center of the universe, and all these people are getting in my way. My selfish husband is getting in the way of me getting high. Doesn't he know? Needless to say, that didn't last very long because I didn't care about anybody else but me.
Yeah.
Then, how many times I get reported to employee assistance program, that's a big waste of time because denial, right? So step one, we talk about, admitting that your life is unmanageable.
Yeah.
I would say step one and then have a big but after, but not right now.
We talk about that. But we had a whole episode with my pastor about the word but. Where I'll do it, but and it's okay, so you're not really gonna do it.
No.
You've already given yourself an out. Right?
Yeah, it's a but. And but to me was the way I would relapse. But not yet. But I'm busy. But you must be joking. But I'll find another job. But I'll I relapse. I had a whole jar of 30-day coins. And I wasn't even sober for most of those 30 days because I didn't want to go in and say, yeah, I did it again, like that stupid Britney song.
Right.
Whoops, I did it again.
Right.
Because it's embarrassing to go in and be like, yeah, I can't stay sober. Well, it's not I can't stay sober. It's I don't want to stay sober, or I'm not ready yet, or I don't care what you guys have to say. I was piss and vinegar when I tried to I was so angry, and you're not going to tell me what I have to do. Don't you know who I am? Like, it's all of that. I've been doing this dance of getting high and going into work, and I would say, I'm going to go in today and I'm not going to get high. And it was like the harder I tried, the immediately I would go in and get high, or I would get a bag of Coke and sniff my brains out before I went into work. And I mean, I just couldn't do it. There was no acceptance. I would not stay sober.
Yeah.
Complete denial. And then my dad, this is really hard for me to talk about, but I'm going to do it. My dad was dying of cancer. And this was back in 2007. And then I had been fired from a couple more facilities out in Hawaii. And my dad was dying of cancer. And I had just been fired from this last place, and they said, you need some help. And I was like, I don't need no help. And they said, you need some help, and we're letting you go. And we suggest that you get some help, some serious help. And this was probably a turning point for me. But I still relapsed a few more times after it. But this was a point where I said, maybe this is the time, Jess, you maybe want to think about that this is an issue for you. And my dad was dying of cancer, and I couldn't be present for my dad. He just passed away. This was in 2007. And I stole all of this man's narcotics, and I used them all on myself. My tolerance was so high that it didn't kill me. It didn't kill me, but I blacked out for a while. And that's hard. But I couldn't even be present in my dad's last few moments. I couldn't even be there for my mom because I was so active in my own addiction that I couldn't even be there for my family. My dad's sister, who is a nurse, came and took care of my dad in the last few moments of his time because I was so wrapped up in my own addiction that I couldn't even be there for my own father. That's how cunning, baffling, and powerful addiction is.
Yeah.
That he couldn't even be there for my own dad. I stole all of his narcotics and used them on my own self to numb my own pain for whatever I was going through. I couldn't even be there for my own father. That's how horrible this disease process is.
Yeah, if somebody's watching this and they're going, what? This happens all the time, whether it's to that magnitude or any magnitude. Yeah. That's how cunning, baffling.
Yes.
It is, and you can't understand it. Nobody can understand it.
It's awful.
It is.
It is a terrible disease. Your dying dad. Someone else has to take care of him because you're so wrapped up in your disgusting behavior that you just have to have someone else take care of your dad. And you're a nurse. I was shipped off to rehab within 2 weeks after that. This is disgusting. That was one of my lowest points in my own behavior. And I've had some other low points, like stealing sharp containers from work, cleaning it with Clorox, thinking, oh, I'm not disgusting. I'm cleaning this with Clorox, like who does that?
Right. When
I was in rehab, I got shipped off to a sex rehab because I had sex with people in rehab. It's just disgusting behaviors I did there too. They said I had other issues. I was in rehab for 4.5 months, just locked up in there doing all kinds. I came back out of rehab, saw an ex-boyfriend of mine, was knocked up within a weekend after getting out of rehab. They say when you get out of rehab, don't do anything don't make any changes. Well, I did something that I'm stuck with for 18 years. I got pregnant.
Right.
Just making those changes right away.
Right. Yeah.
Way to go, Jess. I love my son, but don't make those changes.
Right.
Good job.
Yeah. So you had your son.
I did.
Which is awesome.
I love him to pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great. He's 17. I only have almost 15 years of sobriety, and that kid reminds me every day that those numbers don't add up.
Right.
He reminds me, trust me, every single day.
Yeah. So you went to rehab.
I did.
You got out. You had your son. Mm-hmm. And then where did you said you relapsed again?
Yeah, I relapsed a few times. So I relapsed 3 months after I had him, and that was a real low. I was on Christmas Day, so about 3 months after I had him. I was in the hospital. I thought I could go back working in a hospital, and this is another big low for me because you can't get sober for other people. This is what I have learned.
100%.
I'm going to say this out loud. You can't be sober for other people. I had an infant. I couldn't be sober for an infant because you can only be sober for yourself. I was passed out in the bathroom with a needle on my arm. It's not a good look. I don't recommend it for Christmas cards, people. It's not a good look.
Right.
Okay? You can't do it. You can't do it. And got in big trouble in that state for that. And I entered into a 5-year contract with the state I was working in. And that's what got me sober-ish. I relapsed 2 years into it, and I had to do another 5-year contract. So it took me a long time to be sober.
Yeah.
I had postpartum depression. It's not good.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, the hormones, it was really bad.
I heard it's horrific.
It's horrible. And I was relapsing left and right after that. And it was really hard to maintain my nursing license. I worked really hard, but it can be done. I just had a real hard time after that.
What clicked for you? What was it that...
Yeah, I mean, what clicked? It's just hard to say. I mean, I think I was at risk of losing my son. I was at risk of never being a nurse again. I mean, I really do. I love being a nurse. I know it's hard to believe that, but I love being a nurse. It's kind of twofold. I mean, one, and initially though, and this is so sick to say this out loud, but part of being in recovery is being rigorously honest. Initially, and it's hard for me to say this out loud, and people are probably like, that girl sucks. But being a nurse was how I got my drugs sometimes. Okay, so that's it, and that's rigorous honesty. But two, I do love being a nurse because it is about being around people, and I do like to be around people and helping them. Also, being a nurse, I've been a nurse since I'm 20. I like being a nurse. Being able to still practice is something that's very important to me.
Yeah.
And this is part of who I am. Now, being in recovery allows me to still be a mom. It allows me to still function. It's taught me how to be accountable and how to be responsible.
Yeah.
All of this is a part of who I am.
Well, the thing, too, that people get mixed up, because we talk about so much of the negative things, but addicts are not bad people.
We're not.
No, it's you can be a very loving person, and what I find in the rooms is it's filled with people who are extremely people pleasing. They love to help people. They love to do, and I don't know what the connection is, but there's something in people with giant hearts.
Yeah.
End up in recovery and I grew up around nurses too. My grandmother, who passed away when I was 14, was like the pillar of my family.
Yeah.
And this this may not be the time to, you know what, I'm just going to tell you because you're talking about nursing stories.
Yeah.
So my grandmother in Reno, West Virginia, worked as a nurse it was like it's like a retirement home would be now.
Yeah.
But back then in small towns, anybody who had a problem went to live there.
Yeah.
Right? There was no other facility. So she'd take me up there when I was a little kid,
Right.
7,
Yeah.
6. And I had a Nerf basketball thing, and
Yeah.
I'd play basketball. Well, one night she took me up. She had to start at 11 at night, and I went up there with her. And it was small, right? It was just 2 little hallways. So she was at the desk in the front, and I was like, she just let me run amok.
Yeah.
And I'd go in rooms and laugh and joke. So I went around the corner to the front. There was a big glass opening, and there were a bunch of people in there. I went in, and I came back out, and I was holding $4. And my grandma goes,
How'd you make
honey, where'd you get that? And I go, I set everyone free. She goes, what? I go, I set him free. And she goes, you set who free? I'm like, the people at the glass. Yeah. She goes running around. There's people just laying on the ground. They had Velcro on their things. And they're like, I'll give you $1 if you let me out. And I just started letting everybody out.
That's great.
But growing up around, there's that bedside manner. There's the thing. My favorite people to perform for are military, cops, nurses, EMTs, because you guys see everything.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that I'm going to say that you're going to go,
you're not going to be offended by it.
That's shocking. No. Yeah, it's totally. So you have the heart of a nurse. You want to help people.
Yeah.
You want to, but what I find that is so weird that people can't understand is like, when you are when you could have the greatest job in the world, you could be doing exactly what you want to do, and addiction will trash it.
Yeah.
It'll trash your dreams. It'll I mean, just anything from being lazy to just having a headache to feeling sick to incessantly thinking about when I'm going to get. So you live through that. Now you have 15 years.
Yeah.
Right? You still know it's day to day.
Right.
But you have 15 years. What has it been like in the transformation to how you feel now? Because obviously you're a nurse, so you care for people. You love helping people and trying to save them. You're on this podcast as a nurse, which is pretty freaking brave in my book to come out and be this honest. So clearly sobriety means an awful lot to you. Yeah. So tell me like what it's like now and just kind of what sobriety means to you. And
so today I'm an honest person. Like I've said, I was the biggest, fattest liar you ever met. So today I get to be honest. Today I get to have relationships. I mean, I ruined every relationship I ever had because the disease of addiction is systemic and it ruins everything around you. It's just like an octopus and destroys everything. Today I have real relationships. Today I get to be an honest woman in sobriety. I sponsor other women. You know, I have right now I work with 2 sponsees and I have a sponsor and that sponsor has a sponsor. So I'm active in the community of women and I work with them and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, I go to meetings. I'm an active participant. You know, I don't just sit in the sidelines, be like, oh, I go to meetings, but I don't say anything. You know, I'm in a program. I'm going to school to be a psych NP, you know, to work in this field. I have other degrees in this field. I have a LADAC degree. I have a master's in gerontology and psychology. I mean,
now, I know what gerontology is, but would you explain it to people? I have no idea.
It's for old people.
Oh, okay. Oh, like gerontol, geriatric. Gotcha. I was like,
psychology. I mean, I just love helping people. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I get up in the morning and I pray. Recovery is about being connected. And I have a God box. When something's bothering me, I put it in my God box and I let the big man take care of it.
Yeah.
I work the steps. You know, you can say you're sober, but what does that mean? It means that you are free from substances. For me, it's free from all substances. Now, some people, believe in the California sobriety.
Right.
I don't take anything. And I had a hysterectomy. I did not take any meds post-op.
Are you serious?
Very serious. I didn't take any. I took ibuprofen and a heating pad. My sobriety is completely clear of all mood-altering substances. It says so in the big book. In that big book. You don't take anything. There's different levels of sobriety, and everyone has their own way of doing things. I did not take any meds. And I'm very proud of that fact. I don't take anything. I don't even take NyQuil. I take nothing.
Yeah. I'm with you. My scope has no alcohol in it.
Yeah.
Like mouthwash and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, zero.
I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, because it's mood altering. And for this addict, if I put one thing in my body, it changes the way I think.
Yeah.
You know, and I know, once I get it in there, oh man, it's off to the races. I'm to Mexico and here I go, baby.
Yeah.
Here I go. I ain't coming back.
I sometimes feel like I've locked that old guy up.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
Yeah, mine's in it's a padded wall scenario here. It is. She's not a good person. That person long ago. I have friends now that I've had for years. I like that. The person I was in active addiction, she didn't have friends. She ruined every relationship she ever came into contact with. She had no money.
Right.
Okay? She couldn't pay her bills.
Right.
It was not a good situation. This version of me is so far the best version of herself that, I mean, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yes.
Do you find I find that my relationships with people in recovery rooms they start off stronger than with somebody I just meet on the street. Like you have this automatic kind of connection of like, I get you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I went to a meeting yesterday and this is what we were talking about. And it was about what was the word they used? Fellowship.
Yes.
And the fellowship of the rooms of recovery and kind of how, and I like the old timers.
Yes.
Like I said this yesterday in my share. I was like, you know, to the younger people, when I first came in, I was like, what? That old man, you know, whatever. I go, but I want you to think about this. There's like 3 of them sitting in here. There's 150 of them that are dead.
Yeah.
That aren't coming in here. Because I was always like, why do you have to keep coming? You've been sober 30 years and you're still here every day.
Right.
I didn't understand in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, one, giving back, even if they say the same thing every time, you know what I mean?
You remember it.
You still remember it. You still, I end this podcast with something, if no one told you they love you today, I do. That is straight out from a dude who said it to me every morning. And he said it to me all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Reno, nobody told you to love. And I was, at first, I'm like,
What does that mean?
what are you talking about? You don't know me and I don't know you. And then I watched him. And I was like, no, he does love everybody in here. Like he goes up to people and is like, hey, what's going on with that? What's going on with this? What's going on with this? And the fellowship and the camaraderie of it, I always say, I'm like when people say, what makes you so positive there's a God, right? I have 100 stories in my life of why I'm positive there's God. But one of the reasons is if you go into a recovery meeting and look around at everybody in there, right?
Yeah.
And you go, all right, if I lined all you guys up outside and I said, you're going to be responsible for a house, the electric bill, the water bill, having coffee in here every morning, having it clean, having the heat on, having all, I wouldn't guess that you guys could hold anything together.
Yeah.
But with God, you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
Like it is. And there's something, I found God in the rooms of recovery. I grew up going to church and stuff like that. But where I really felt it, where I was like, this is real. And I don't know if it's because of, you know, we're all struggling and we're all coming together and praying together and working these steps together and gutting ourselves in front of each other and all that. It's so therapeutic. And if you read the book, you do know there's a doctor involved and all that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But there's something magical about the connection of the science and the faith going together, as opposed to, because you're in the medical field, it feels like people are either science or God and there can't be any in between. It's like, no, dude, God gave you a brain so we could work on science, so we could figure out how to help each other and do the whole thing.
Yes.
And I see it in rooms of recovery with people that you'd never think you'd learn it from.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
A bunch of jacked up people can do some really cool stuff. You know, and if we don't forget about people and we don't discard them and we don't put a stigma on them, there are the most beautiful people you've ever seen. And real art is watching something mundane and sick and sad turn into something beautiful. It's freaking art.
Well, that's the beauty of recovery, is
It
watching
is,
the
right?
miracle happen in front of your eyes.
And you see it, and that's why I'm like, that's why I believe in God.
Yeah.
I've seen people scream out to him, myself included, and cry, like, I have nothing. Like, the step one to me was basically just, it's over.
Right.
I'm done.
And you have to do, that's the only step you have to do 100%. But you have to be ready. You have to give in 100. You have to do it 100%. And it's like, I can't. And then step two is, he can. I think I'll let him. And you have to do that.
Yeah, oh, I love that.
Yeah, and it's so simple. And I have to do that all day long because I love to take my will back. I love to be in control. I'm a control freak.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
But all day long, I have to say, I can't, he can, I think I'll let him. And I have to do it all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked 12-steppers what your, and I don't mean to put you on the spot,
Yeah.
but your favorite step, like what meant the most. And it's crazy because I think that there's two that everybody would say and almost nobody says them. But so I wanted to hear yours. Do you have one that hits you hard?
Well, for me, it's 1, 2, and 3 always.
Really?
Yeah, because I have to, like I just said, I have to do it all day long. I didn't like 4 because, and that was probably was the hardest one for me because taking that inventory and because I had to take that look at myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I actually just went through the steps again with my sponsor. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You know, taking that hard look at yourself, that rigorous honesty, because there were some things, you know, I've done the steps probably, I think this was my 4th time doing it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like the 10th step too, because if you're constantly taking that daily, you know, inventory, what could I have done better today? Who do I owe an apology to? What, you know, things like that.
Right.
You know, it does keep your stuff good. And then, of course, the 12th step, working with others is the best.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we do that every day. Like just asking, and I tell this to my sponsees, ask I always put my hand out to the person to the left of me and to the right with me. How are you doing today? What's going on with you? Because that can save a person's life. You don't know if they were going to go home and blow their brains out.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. And someone shared in a meeting when I was out in Hawaii, and they said, you know, someone asked me how I was today, and that saved my life. And just those words, I always make sure I shake the person to the left and to the right, and I ask them how they were. You don't know what's going on in someone's head.
Yeah.
You don't know.
And the little things, looking back, like I'm a grandiose. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna
to the glove.
if I'm gonna cook a steak, it's got to look like it's, you know, all Fred Flintstone. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be this.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at the everything is blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
But when I look back at my recovery, it was little tiny things that people said to me or did for me,
And you remember
and
that.
you remember them.
Yes.
And you never know what someone's going through.
You don't.
And because we're so good, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Up here, the duck looks great.
Yeah.
Down here, he's freaking out.
You never know.
You never know when someone has that, and just a little bit of love, just a little,
Yeah, the nudge.
you know.
Yeah.
There you
don't.
go.
You know, you never know what's happening with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because we all have like all this crap inside our head. I've got a 5-ring circus because it can't be 3-ring. I'm better.
You need
I'm
5.
in
Mine's
six.
10.
Okay, all right, fine.
15,
One upper.
15, yeah. All right.
You ever notice how
Oh, yeah.
addicts do that?
Yeah.
Well, if you can do 10 lines, I can do 15.
Yeah.
You
I used to
know?
write my name in
I
it.
could do. I'm special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We always do that.
Yep.
We never know what's going on inside someone's head.
Especially someone who is in a room,
Right.
because some of us are going just to keep our head straight for the day,
Right.
and
Some
we're
of us
pretty
need our
much
paper
okay.
signed. We don't know why we're there.
Right.
But if you keep coming back, eventually you remember. I didn't want to be in the rooms. How many times I got mandated there by employee assistance program? I was like, screw you, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. And what you said early on about how it has to be for you.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. People say, don't you love your wife and your kids
nothing to do
enough?
with them.
Don't you love your job enough?
Nothing to do with
That's
them.
not even a real thing
It's
in our
not-
heads.
No, I couldn't be sober for my 3-month-old. I couldn't be sober for my. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I still relapse 2 years later. It's irrelevant.
Yep. Until you decide.
You have to be ready. It's
that's-
for you.
So your favorite step is 1 through 3.
Yeah.
You love 12,
I love
which you're
12.
doing right now.
I mean, yeah, get the message out. Help somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't be so dang selfish.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
My first sponsor made me make coffee. Well, first she made me make coffee. Then she made me pick up cigarette butts. Then she made me meet the people out in the thing. I'm like, I don't want to touch people's hands. She's like,
Yeah.
you're a nurse. Get over yourself. You're not so dang special, she used to tell me.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, I have to do all this stuff.
It's like holding
Then-
hands with
yeah.
people at the end of pray.
Yeah, she's
my
like,
palms sweat.
Yeah.
Especially like if I'm stressing out. So
Right.
it's like, all right, now everybody stand up. We get in a
Right.
circle and hold hands. And I'm like, oh, man.
why you make me do this stuff?
I don't wanna-
She's telling me all the time, you're not special. I'm like, you don't know who I am.
You don't know
I'm
who
so
I am.
Special.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
special, don't you know? I was pissing vinegar all the time. I was so angry when I first got sober. I
Yeah.
was my arms folded. I used to be so yelling at people.
Yeah. Did you when you really went in, did you throw yourself all into it?
No, I was so angry. It took
Yeah.
it took me a very long time. Plus, I wasn't going to therapy. I lied for the first 5 years. I was a complete liar.
Yeah.
No, I was not a good student.
Yeah.
I was not a good
You have to stay
student.
teachable, right?
Yes.
You really have to go in there thinking like,
No, I was not good. The program didn't click for me until I probably was about 7 years in, honestly.
yeah.
Now I've been sober for 15 years. I say I took the scenic route here.
Yeah.
I stopped. I was not like, this is not A to B. Now, kudos to anyone who does it on the first try. Kudos to anyone who's like, oh, I'm shooting rainbows out my butt. I'm on the cloud 9, la-di-da-di. That was not my story.
Yeah.
And kudos to anyone who can do that.
Yeah.
I took the scenic route. This was not an easy ride.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's ride's different.
Yes.
Right?
And,
Everybody's.
yeah, I mean, it's fantastic for everyone who can do it that way. Not me.
Yeah. Well, I cannot thank you enough
Yeah,
for
it's
coming
great.
on and sharing your story
Yeah.
and being so open and honest. And again, we're just trying to knock the stigma off this stuff. There's
Yeah.
so many beautiful people in recovery and wonderful people and people that have really changed. I always have a weird thing because people will go, congratulations on how many years. You want me to celebrate
The fact that I've screwed up my
the
life.
fact that I was so bad that now we cheer
I know.
because I'm kind of normal.
I know, right?
Like just because I kind of
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, you know what I'm grateful for? That I've got a program, and that maybe you should get one too.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go see someone about all your problems.
Yeah, dude. I remember when I first was going into meetings, I was sitting there going, everybody should have to come here.
Yeah, this is a real program for life.
This is something like, oh yeah, we're supposed to like think about the bad things we did.
Yeah.
Like I buried that stuff a long time ago.
Yeah.
But then you start getting it out, and it does suck, but it's freeing in so
Yeah.
many ways, and it's so nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet
and
you,
thank
too.
you for coming. Sorry about claiming him.
Oh, it's all right.
It's frozen. But you guys, thank you so much for listening to Alive and Sober today,
Yeah.
or watching it, however you saw it. And I hope we dropped some seeds and kind of showed that you can change your life completely for the better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always feel like it. When you're in the throes of it, you can't imagine anything else. And we're not in the job of trying, if you're drunk right now watching this, I'm not looking at this that I'm supposed to help you get sober. I'm actually talking to people in recovery or who have had a taste of it.
Yeah.
Because, without God, and again, I found him in the rooms, and this is my church, and Jesus is here. But man, he is in the rooms of recovery because there's a lot of people crying out. So I hope this helped you. And like we always end every episode, if no one told you they love you today, I do. Thanks, y'all.